Okay, Abby, here we go talking about graphing. So this is the assignment up top that I mostly wrote for my reference. And then below that, I wrote the formula for slope. So that's y minus y divided by x minus x, which can also be written, that's just kind of a shortcut, the change in y, that's what the delta means, the difference, change in y over change in x. So all we have to do is find the difference between the y's and put that over the difference between the x's. So here I just picked two numbers and I made an example. So what I did is take the y's, 4 and negative 2, so I do 4 minus negative 2. And then on the bottom you take the x's, negative 3 minus 6, right there. Simplify each piece, 4 minus negative 2 is 6, negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9. That fraction simplifies to negative 2/3. Just remember that if you put this in your calculator as a fraction, if you type 6 and then that little a over b button, I think, oh, that's super messy, never mind. It just says like a/b or a over b. If you put this in and hit equals, it will simplify it for you. So if you're in a hurry or just don't feel like messing with it, easy way to get your calculator to simplify. Okay, there's two special cases. So here, example B, do you see that the x's are the same? So when I do my work, I'll do 6 minus negative 10 over 4 minus 4. Because the x's are the same, we end up with a 0 in the denominator, and that's not allowed. So we can write does not exist, we can write no slope, or we can write undefined. Because there is no slope, it is not defined. Any of those answers work. Usually we write undefined. That one's my favorite. There's the other special case. This time the y's are the same. So I would do 5 minus 5 for the y part over 6 minus negative 10 for the x part. And that gives me 0 over 16. Now that is allowed. This just means 0. So this one has a slope of 0, which is allowed. It's just a number. So the whole first section of your assignment is just about finding slopes. In the textbook, the first problems they give you actually have a picture, but it tells you the 2 points. So all you have to do is write those 2 points down and put them in the formula. Your other choice is to count. Rise over run. So you start with the point on the left, because we read graphs left to right. And this point to this point, we would go up 2 over 1. And up to over 1 is a slope of 2 over 1. So you can count it, or you can put those two numbers into your slope formula and get it that way. 0 on the bottom means undefined. 0 on the top means a slope of 0. All right, the next thing they do is they start asking you to write the equation of the line, I think. Nope, it says graph the line, sorry. So the next section, they're telling you to sketch a graph of the line with the point P and the slope M. So we start with the point. So I made up an example. The point 3,2 means I graph the point 3,2. I write the slope as a fraction if it's not already. So I just put over 1. So I come over here and I graph the point 3,2. 3,2. Once you have the point, from there you use that slope to tell you where to go. Up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Keep doing it as long as you have to get a straight line. So you just connect the points. Start at 3,2, go up this number over that number. If it's not already a fraction, just put over 1, and that's your fraction. Remember that if your slope is negative, if this had been negative 4, we would have gone down 4 over 1. So start at the point, go where it tells you to. Negative means go down and over. Positive means go up and over. Then we talk about the equation of a line. It always looks like this. Always. So the slope is the M. I don't know why they use M for slope, but they always do. And the y-intercept is the B. The y-intercept is just where the graph crosses the y-axis. So this picture, if they ask us to write from a picture to write the equation of the line, then what I would do is find the y-intercept, that's 2, so it goes right there. The slope is where I count left to right. So I start with the point on the left and figure out what I had to do to get to this point. Down 1 over 1, 2, 3 means a slope of negative 1/3. So I just stick those two numbers in. Y-intercept goes here by itself. Slope goes here right beside the x. So the slope, the y-intercept, that's it. And it's even easier on the ones in the book because you don't have to find it from a picture. They just give it to you in some of them. So instead of having to do it, you just plug in what they give you. But what if they don't give you the y-intercept? That's not a y-intercept. That's just a point. All right, this is the trickiest one of the group. So I did several examples of this. They give us a slope. They give us a point, but it isn't the y-intercept. First, plug in the slope. Then, this one is it's confusing. Sorry, I shouldn't have started with this one. We plug in the slope and simplify. Then we plug in the point. Well, that's what I did here. Here's where I simplified it. And then I went back to the original and I plugged in the point. The y of this point is 6. This is a terrible first example. Let's go to the second one. This one makes way more sense. We plug in the slope. So y equals mx plus b. I plugged in the slope that they gave me. I need the b, but I don't have it. I have a point. So I'm going to plug this in too. Do I put in 1 for x and 8 for y? So now I've plugged in the slope and the point that I was given. This in for the x, this in for the y, and I solve. So 1/3 times 1 is just 1/3. I subtracted 1/3 from both sides, and that tells me b is 7/3. Now I have both of the pieces I need, the m and the b. So I put them in. Y equals mx plus b. My m is my slope. My b is my y-intercept. Just from that form that we saw on the front, how it always goes. So, third example. Nope, I don't want to do the undefined slope. Let's skip to this one. Slope is negative 1/4, and here's my point. I put in the negative 1/4. Put in the x and the y that they gave me. Messed up right there, sorry. And then I work it out. Negative 1/4 times negative 2 is 1/2. I just put that in a calculator. And then I subtract the 1/2 from both sides. Now I know the b. I found the b using what they gave me. They gave me the slope. I found the b. Now I stick them both in. Negative 1/4, negative 4/2. Let's do it again. Slope is 2. Here's the point. Put them both in. 2 for the slope. 6 for the x, negative 4 for the y. Solve. So 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract the 12 from both sides. Now I know my b, so I stick it in. Again, there's special cases for those 0 and undefined, and that's what this was. If the slope is 0, then right here we get 0x, which is a little bit weird, and we know that we can just steal the y and use it as our y-intercept. So we get y equals 6. The slope is 0. I can stick that in. And no x is plus 6 is just y equals 6. So when the slope is 0, you just kind of steal the y and don't do any work and write it down. When the slope is undefined, you do the opposite. We can't write undefined times x. We can't put undefined into our equation, so we don't even try. We just steal the x part. So when it's undefined, I write x equals whatever it told me. If my slope is undefined and my point is 2, 8, then I write x equals 2. If my slope is undefined and my point is negative 1, 10, I write x equals negative 1. You just steal that bit and write it down, and that's the answer. That's the equation of the line. If the slope is 0, you steal the y, and you just write y equals whatever that number is. Okay, I feel like that is enough for today. That will definitely get you through at least number, what was our assignment? At least number 26, number 33 and following, 33 to 48. you probably should be able to do with what we got, but it takes a little more work because they gave you the picture. So you have to find the slope yourself from the picture, and you have to find the y-intercept from the picture. And then here they give you information just like we were doing before. But your goal for today's lesson should be getting at least through number 26. Just aim for that. If you don't get there, it's not a big deal. And then we'll work on finishing it up next time.